up? My name is Allie, for those of you who don't know me, and I'm the maker behind Crochet in the Mud, where I do both crochet plushies as well as pottery. And today's going to be another weekly make, but it's a little different than previously. So if you watched my last week, you might have heard me say I wasn't expecting myself to be too productive this week, or this past week, because it was my birthday and my mom came in town to kind of do some wedding stuff to prep for that. That's coming up. But I actually didn't do too bad in terms of prepping. Not near what I normally do, but I did about half, which, not bad, I do say so. So I have a theme, and it is going to be squids. Now, I recently got in a package of Premier Yarn. I am now a Premier Yarn affiliate, so I'll put that link down in the bio. If you want to buy it from there, if you use my link, it just gives me a little bit of money, and it doesn't cost anything to you, which then means that I can buy more yarn. But I recently did an order. That video should be coming out soon because I am still behind on my Wednesday, Friday videos. Well, my Mondays are real time. But I ordered a bunch of their Premier Basix. This is my first time trying it, and I got a lot of their tie-dye and their variegated ones. So I took every single skein I ordered and made a squid from it, which came out to, I apparently had 16 skeins. I did not buy every single color. I bought most colors, but like there's one that was like a camo one, and I did not want that, so I didn't get it. But I got majority of the ones they do have to offer. But I will quickly throw out my two non-squids. I have one Tofu Turtle. This one was kind of just like leftover from last week. I had to finish it up this week. So nothing too special about this guy. And I do sell them for $18, and he will definitely get sold at some point, whether that's going to one of my stores or to my market. And then at my previous market, which will come out eventually, I'll link it up here once that does come out, but it won't be for a little bit. I had a customer ask me for a custom order. So they placed a deposit, and then I still need to actually get back to them about final payment. But he asked me for a teddy bear. He wanted one that was similar to my logo. So I found this free pattern on Instagram. As always, I will link all my patterns in the description. But they wanted the two-toned bear, so I added these color changes. And then I do still need to embroider a nose and a mouth. But other than that, he's done. And with my formula, he came out to be $28. And I used Premier Basix on this. I believe this color is Rust and Steel Coat Oats, maybe? I am still new to this yarn, so I don't quite know all the color names yet. But he's a little cutie. I'll definitely need to add the details. So after those two, the rest of these are going to be squids. And I sell my squids for $28 a piece. And if I counted right, there are 16 of them. And I laid them out by multi versus tie-dye. And all of them have the label on their heads right now, so I can remember what colors they all are. But I had some interesting observations while I was doing this. Now, the reason I decided to make a bunch of squids was these colors are beautiful, and then I was literally just sitting there like, what even do I make with variegated yarn? So a lot of times I like to make squids or whales or my tiny pocket pals, turtle shells. None of those felt very creative, and I was just sitting there and I was like, you know what? My baby squids sell pretty well whenever I have them at markets, and I need to see how this yarn works up rather than in a skein, because if you've worked with variegated yarn, you know, like, they look different on the skein versus worked up. And I guess I'll just quickly show you each one, and then I'll show you some observations I made. So I'm going to start with the tie-dye because I have those laid out in the first row right next to me. So this one is color Petal Power. It is beautiful. I mean, I don't think there were any of these that I was like, this is ugly. This next tie-dye one is called Ocean Swells. It's a very pretty, I guess I'll stop saying it's very pretty because I'm going to say that for all of them. This next one is very pastel. This one is called Peace and Love. This reminds me of like a baby blanket I had as a kid. These next two look very similar, but they are different, I promise. This one right here is called Technicolor, while this one is called Daisy Chain. I will come back to these two in a little bit. This one is called Flower Child. This one is Groovy Glow. And the last tie-dye that I did is called In Harmony. Apologies for the glare. There's some more blue in the back there. And then the next couple are all going to be the Basix Chenille Multi. This one I can't decide if I love or hate. I keep going back and forth. Or not hate. Love or I'm just mediocre on. This one is called Hummingbird. When I was first making this one, all I could see was the teal and orange combo, like I was making Perry the Platypus. And then this next one, this one is called Pink Lemonade. The back, I guess, shows you a better, front's mostly pink. This one over here is called Tulip. Lots of purples and pinks. Then over here, this one is Anemone. This one is called Spring. 3 more. This one is called Pastels. Makes sense. This one is called Surf. And then lastly, for all of the colors I bought, this one is called Beach Ball, which makes sense. So I noticed while I was doing this, there were a couple that were very similar. So like I showed you these two. These ones are both in the tie-dye. And like really the only difference is like this one has some more like white to it. They're very similar, but this one is Technicolor, this one is Daisy Chain. Very similar. I'll probably, going forward, only buy one. And I keep going back and forth as to which one it'll be. I mean, they're very similar. Probably Daisy Chain is what I'll go forward with. Those are the two like in the same line that were very similar. But I did notice, sorry about all my sushi hat squids here. These two are also very similar, but this one is tie-dye, this one is multi. So the tie-dyes have more of like a popcorn look. More like, does that make sense? Where in the strand, there is like more than one color, whereas this one is solid. I hope that makes sense. You see what I mean? This one's tie-dye. And then same with over here, we had 2 different pastels. This one's tie-dye, this one's multi. Very similar. And then another one, this one is tie-dye, this one is multi. These two are kind of more of a stretch. This one has a lot more pink to it. These yarns were very fun to work with. I am definitely now tempted to place another Premier order, which hopefully I can hold off just a little bit until I need to use up my Joanne yarn. But I want to keep trying all the new Premier yarns, but I have a bunch of Burn Blanket behind me I need to get through. But another nice thing about these, if you've never ordered the Basix yarn, they are almost like half skeins of Burn Blanket, where these ones are only, where is it? 150 grams, so literally half the grams. But the multicolored ones are less grams. I guess I have the label right here. This one was 100 grams. So they do charge the same amount whether you're buying a solid or a variegated of Premier, whereas the variegated has less yarn in it. But The variegated size of the 100 grams was the perfect amount to make 1 squid and then 3 pocket octos. So of course those are all in my whips bucket. I was just cranking out a bunch of bodies, and I make those in assembly lines where I'll just have a giant bucket and then I go through and then the eyes to them and then I'll stuff them and sew them shut. But I'm in desperate need of pocket octos and any of my pocket pals. So that's what I've been working on. Those will probably be in next week's weekly makes. But this yarn is definitely comparable to Bernay Blanket. Sometimes it's a bit softer, sometimes it's a bit rougher, just like any yarn. I did have some skeins that were really soft, some skeins that weren't that great. Not in like a rough sense. Like, I'm not too picky with my yarn. I will use it whether it's really rough or really soft. But it is something that I've noticed as I was working through them. There definitely wasn't a consistent like texture to them. But nothing that I am opposed to. I know there are some people who are very picky with that. So with having all of those 16 squids, which was the majority of what I did this week, I came out to $494 for my 18 plushies I made this week, which is not bad for a week that I took most of the time off. So like here and there I'd put like 30 minutes in, oh, we're waiting for this time to be able to leave the house, let me just quickly work on a squid. So if you're new to my channel or my weekly makes, I typically make myself a goal to make $1,000 every week of inventory at minimum. Ideally it should be more about $1,500, but $1,000 is what I aim to hit. So hitting just about $500 on a week that I was not really working is fantastic. So I also will usually share my market inventory amount, but currently that is in a standstill. So last week you would have seen me go over and I said most of this is probably for my stores, and then this week was supposed to also be focused on stores, but instead I made 16 squids, which I might send a couple to my store, but they'll probably mostly go to markets. But I did over the weekend restock the Painted Tree store. I was gonna say I'll throw up a picture of what it looks like, but this week the video of me joining that store is supposed to come out, so you'll see that, and it's kind of going to be like an updated also what I did this week in the store. So that was much needed. I moved in either the Tuesday or Wednesday after Memorial Day weekend, and I have not been back since. And when I moved in, I only gave them pottery and then like 4 pocket octos, so it was looking real rough while I was over there. So they finally have plushies. They don't have everything I was hoping to give them, but it's a good start, and my space is full. So definitely need to start figuring out a rhythm of setting stuff aside for them. But then my other store, it's called Eclectic, and I am going there Thursday, I believe, this week. So I do still have last week's bag set aside for me to figure out what else going there. I might give them like 2 squids, I haven't decided yet. So hopefully this week I can focus on actually stuff I can give them, because even though it is August, it is time to start prepping for Christmas. So this store, I've been there for Labor Day, I believe, will put me at 4 years? 3 years or 4 years? No. Okay, now I have to look it up. Yes, I'm finishing up my 3rd year at the store. And Christmas always triples sales. So I need to start now to be prepping, especially if I'm hoping to have a part-time job this rest of the... moving forward, part-time job. Which means I definitely need to make sure that now, while I'm waiting to hear back from them, I am on my A game. And with all of the markets coming up, make sure I can be ready for Christmas season, because it always ramps up. I'm hoping that it'll still ramp up this year with how the economy's going. I know people are, like, their wallets are hurting. I haven't seen too much of an impact of that yet, but we will see how this Christmas season goes. But I think that's all that I have for you this week. I need to not go on and order yarn right now. I am going to hopefully wait until, I believe, Labor Day. I will let myself order some if there is a sale. If I can find a sale Labor Day weekend, I can order yarn. That's what I'm going to tell myself. So anyways, that's all I have for you for now. I should have 2 more videos coming out this week. I really hope you're enjoying them. I will hopefully in the future not be all or nothing where there's either 0 videos or 3 videos. I really meant to be posting once a week this summer, but it just didn't happen. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know if there's anything you want to see from me or any patterns you want me to try out. I know for sure I have a long list of patterns I want to try out. I just get in a bad headspace, so maybe one week here soon I'll let myself do new patterns. The only hard part is that then means I have to price them, make listings, there's a lot more work when I do a new pattern. But yeah, that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for watching this week's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave me a comment down below of what you were working on, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!